What's up, historians? Welcome back to another great episode. I know we just had the Halloween episode. If you guys missed it, I haven't uploaded it to YouTube yet, but a couple days ago we had Donnie Green, the sponsor, the guy who drove the truck in Pet Cemetery that killed the boy Gage. Get the baby. We had the girl that played Pennywise. No, people don't know that. Stacy Johnson. She played Pennywise in the sewer scene that ripped Georgie's arm off. When you see Pennywise's eyes blue, that was her. She was my guest on here with David Merlin. He's a magician as well. We also had Marlon Taylor back on. He was one of the original Losers Clubs in the original It, well, down by the stream and stuff as the young boy. He was one of them. So that was the Halloween special. Tonight, I know a lot of you were expecting Charles Rose, but he had stuff going on. We're talking about the Salem Con coming up next week that I'm going to be at. My guests coming on are going to be at. So he had to bounce out. He's doing some media. He did some TV talk yesterday. He'll be back Monday night here at 8. So show must go on. We're going to bring on some people you guys probably are mega familiar with. At least you must know them. You've heard of them both. So before we do that, this show is sponsored, of course, by actor, trucker Donnie Green at Bauer Green Logistics Trucking Company, as well as John Green Logistics Trucking Company. Also, our weekly sponsor, our sponsor of the week is the Haunted Trolley. That's right, Charles' new ride there in Connecticut, the Murder Trolley, the Haunted Trolley. They're sponsoring the show. So shout out to all you guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody at the Warren Convention. Everybody that showed up and came up and wanted pictures with me and gave me hugs, and fucking all you people. Everybody that signed on the Historically Haunted Booking LLC recently. A lot of new clients. I can't wait to have you guys on. My next guest not only is a client, a friend, and someone I've known for a while. He's been on the show a lot. Thomas Patrick Gormley, man. Let's bring him right on right now. Let's bring on the Glorious Weirdo right now.
Hey! What's up, pal?
What's up? Everybody watching? What's up? We got 6 people watching. Comment below. Say hi, everybody. Comment. What's up, Thomas? What's up, brother?
Doing great, my friend. Excited to be with you here on a Friday night. Got the spirits ready to go. So the charcuterie board is all cut.
That's it. I haven't seen you since you bought me a shot of bourbon. Was it bourbon or what would we get at the Warren Con?
Yeah, I got you some bourbon. Yeah, we had some bourbon that night. Yeah.
That's what it was. It's really tasty. So I'm going to let you, because you know a little bit more about it than I do. Talk to me about Jenna-Beth, a little bit about your partner we're going to bring on next. What's a little good introduction for her that people know?
What do you mean, my partner in crime?
Yeah. I mean, I know she's a psychic medium. She's got a lot going on, but you could sum it up better, I think, than I can.
I mean, she's got a lot of stuff. I mean, like I said before, you've heard me, she's like that type of energy that when she comes in the room, she lights up a room. So being her main practice, she's a psychotherapist, psychic medium, hypnotherapist. I'll let her tell her story. Of course, she's always going to.
As soon as I met her, as soon as I saw the video, I saw the flowers and candles, the way she's talking. I'm like, oh, I get that fucking vibe. So without further ado, JB, Loud Rush, what is up, my lady?
Hello. Thank you for having us on here tonight. Very excited to be here.
Thank you for coming on board. I know you're not one for all this public type stuff. You kind of like to stay in the shadows, so I appreciate your time. I do. We got people checking in. Newest client right now. Anna M. Bradmate just signed with me last night saying hello. What else big here? Let's see. People are all chiming in. Jean Tewksbury. She works at the International Cryptozoology Museum in Maine. She chases big puma cats in Maine. So a lot of strong independent people from the field stepping up. Larry, what's up? Ghost Hunter. George DeCosta.
My buddy Larry.
Good evening from George DeCosta. My lady Heather, my girl. Hello, friends. The Witch herself, Witch and Life Guide. Betsy Brown Williams checking in. Oh, Danny Perez, he's going to be at Salem with us. The Radicals. Oh, we're all going to be at Salem. JB, me, Thomas. So anyway, so enough about our commenters. I can't wait to meet you, JB, next Saturday.
Next Friday, Saturday, I know it.
Yeah, a week and a half. I mean, you've been, like you said earlier, you've been all around the world. So I want to bring our people listening and our audience, and of course me, up to date. Let's start from the beginning, JB. We know a lot about Thomas. Thomas has been on a lot. I want to kind of pick your brain here for a second. We'll start ladies first. What got you started in this world, in this field? Is it something passed down through blood? Like, what got you started to know that you had a sense, so to speak?
I believe it started through blood, but my mother and my grandmother was Irish Catholic. They didn't believe in that stuff, but definitely it was there. It was just, covered by the Irish Catholic stuff. And but what really got me started was a near-death experience as a child where I was very sick and could not keep food down, and I had an out-of-body experience, and there was my mom was like 3 stories down when I was choking to death, and there was a being in my bedroom, which I do believe was angel or one of my spirit guides there, and I was floating above my body, and I was very young. My mom had a voice say, "Go upstairs right now," and that was a couple stories down. Came up, I was blue. I said, "That's okay, Mom." I was floating from the ceiling, just watching her, but I had this sense of peace. So it started from there.
Experience. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. That young.
Yes, pretty young. Fast forward, growing up in a dysfunctional family makes us very much more spidey senses in the back of our heads. And so it's bittersweet because we've had, a lot of us who've had trauma and things in our lives has made us more sensitive because we had to be aware. So I believe that was training for me as well. And then at 15, 14, I started getting very, very interested in all the esoteric and all the psychic things, and just so interested in. And then I met Ed and Lorraine Warren at 16 through their son's friend, and I was very friendly with them. Went to their house, ate with them. They wanted me to go on some investigations with them, but at that time I was 16. I didn't have any tools to protect myself, so I went to a place in Tewksbury, Massachusetts, which was one of the places they were investigating. Spent a night there, and then I was so frightened because I was young, innocent, and no protect.
Oh, I think she froze.
That happened sometime. I was so into this story.
Yeah.
I know where Tewksbury is. I've been to Tewksbury, Massachusetts. She used to do football helmets. She'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay. There she comes.
Lost you.
That's all right.
I don't know where I was.
At Tewksbury. You were at Tewksbury, which I've been. Massachusetts is a football team there that I used to do football helmets. Tewksbury, Mass. So anyway, you were at Tewksbury. You got the chance to go with Ed, and that's where you froze. I'm very interested.
Yeah. So no, the Ed and Lorraine sent myself and another partner there, but I was, again, too young. Fast forward, my whole path has been being a healer and have done a lot of study. So studying shamanism, I was friends with the Warrens for 8 years, very close to them for many years at a very young age. And then fast forward, massage therapy, hypnotherapy, studied with shamans, studied paganism and Hinduism and Buddhism, all of those things.
Podcast.
But just very interested in all that.
No, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but that's intriguing. I can see why Thomas is linked to you, which is going to bring me to my next question. I want to know how the fuck you guys even met each other. But I can see that because you're not just in it. Like Thomas always says, he's in it to help people. You guys are in it. You're a healer. Like my girl Heather, she's a spiritual healer as well, witch and life guide. It's not about like it's that's fun and all, but it's about helping people with crystals and just meditation, I think, and therapy. That's very, very deep. You're not just a psychic medium that pulls fucking tarot cards. Everybody and their brother does that. But that's how did you meet, Thomas? How did you guys meet? I'm dying to know.
My daughter, who's following my footsteps, met him at a party, and she said, Sirius Black is my cat, and he might try to come in on here because he loves our energy.
Harry Potter, yeah.
Yeah, Sirius Black is here. She picked up on Thomas's energy as soon as she walked to the party and she saw him. She said she was drawn to him like a magnet, and then started talking to him, and she said, "You've got to meet my mom." Because I've been doing the healing path for many years, and Thomas was doing his thing, and she said, "You got to meet my mom." So then we kind of got friends on Facebook, and then I finally was like, you know what? I'm just going to reach out to him. because why not? Because sometimes it can be very isolating and lonely when you're doing this kind of work. When you're,
well, I take it you're from Connecticut too. Then I would take it. You must be seeing. You said the Warrens, Thomas is Connecticut. So you must be obviously New England based.
Yeah, I'm northern Connecticut, right on the Massachusetts border.
I can see that. I'm gonna talk about Thomas like he ain't here because honestly on Facebook it's like you see this guy Glorious Weirdo. It's all fucking fun and games down the rabbit hole. But when I met him, the dude shakes my hand, gives me a hug, and buys me a fucking bourbon. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, is this my best friend or what? Like, I mean, but his brain is constantly going on thinking, and I get that because I'm a researcher historian too. So it's funny. You guys almost complete each other. I think it's a great 1-2 combo. Archangels of the Paranormal. It's just you two, right? I mean,
yeah. I have a undergraduate degree in art history. So the fact that Thomas and I are very much interested in the history, and when we go and we investigate, we're investigating the history of these buildings, the DNA of people that have passed on, who was there, who's there now, and even the land around the buildings. So both of us are very much into the history, and that's a big part of that because the DNA and the energy of the people that have passed, they don't just disappear.
No. Well, as you know, it stays with things. And hey, Michelle and Sean, everybody checking in, latecomers, we're cool. We're talking to the Archangels of the Paranormal here, Thomas Patrick Gormley and JB Jenabeth, Loud Rush, and just amazing. Tom, you ain't shut up since we started here. You ain't stopped talking. So let's refresh everybody.
I wanted Jenabeth to tell her story. It's always fascinating listening to how she got into this and how our paths crossed. And you're exactly right. We do complete each other. There's things that I do that, she does also, but we have our weaknesses, we have our strengths, and when we're together, just make one strong unit to be able to help people heal, whether they be living or whether they have passed. So that's our goal, and the history behind all these locations always helps us get to those conclusions.
So you're both on the same page. I'm sure you guys both maybe not second guess, but you guys probably both bounce theories off each other. But for the most part, you guys both understand. Does that make sense? Like you guys are on the same page, I think. And I think a lot of teams lack that when it comes to paranormal teams. They kind of they all butt heads. I've been with a couple of teams before, and they just sit there and bicker with each other. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I think to find people you gel with is rare, and that's yeah. What's up, Nomar, the alien chaser from Maine? What's up, my brother, Nomar Slevik? Hey, all, he says, checking in. So let's talk a little bit about, we're going to talk about with Charles next week, but let's talk about the big one coming up. Let's talk about the Salem horror and paranormal and horror convention. We're all going to be there. Some people watching are going to be there. Heather's going to be there. My girl set up Witch and Life Guide. These are fun, right? You guys have been to a lot of these, probably a lot more than I have. Do you guys look forward to these? Do you guys get nervous? Oh, Black Cat. Oh, that was awesome. That was not set up. That was like, I got goosebumps.
It's black, baby.
Salem.
Salem is so exciting.
The cat jump. Yeah, you bringing the cat with you, JB?
He may come. He only does this when he picks up on people's energies. So I do telehealth as a psychotherapist. He doesn't come around except for certain people. He's picking up on what's going on here because he's like, I want to be in on this.
Well, hey, yeah. JB, can you explain to like people that are slow, like I don't know me, what exactly that entails? What you do that therapy like?
So I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and so I'm not a psychologist, but I'm right underneath. And my specializations are on grief and trauma. And part of what I do, and what Thomas and I do with our Archangels of the Paranormal, a lot of times I work with people that have lost loved ones, and I teach them how to tap into their own psychic abilities so they can open that door, so they can have contact with their loved ones, and not just think that, it's only a psychic that can do this. We all have that ability. We just need to use that muscle. So half of the patients that I see are patients that are trying to overcome grief and trauma, and also are really searching for connection to their loved ones that have passed on the other side. And
Wow.
I help them understand the parts of their brain and how they can tap into that.
Yeah, the way you word it, the way you talk, it's almost like a trance. Like the way you talk, it's very. I can see what you're doing. I can see it. You fit it perfectly. Tom, play co-host for a minute. You must have a good question for her.
Oh my God, I already know everything about her.
Well, ask her.
We
a
have
question
to.
we would like to
Adam,
know,
we have to. You know, when you're a team together and all that, you have to know about each other. It's almost like sport. You got to know the playbook. You got to know what each other's going to do, where each other's going to be, and especially because when you are putting that energy into helping somebody, whether they be living or past, you can't get more important than that. You have to put that energy in. And we've done some stuff together that's just mind blowing. And I think because of our commitment, I think that's why we're able to help people the way we do things differently than everybody else, and just come up with conclusions that, you know, are very helpful. I mean, we're ready to write some books about some of the stuff we've experienced over the last little over a year that we've been together.
See, and y'all aren't like the typical, and I'm not going to name drop any of the people, but you know how there really is a couple different type of people in this field. The ones that just want the fame. They want to go there and just, you know, and they just want to hang their hat at the end of the day of if they get their 2 minutes of fame on Paranormal 911. I was there for 2 minutes. And it's like, you guys, it's like, that's all well and good. And I'm not knocking that shit, but at the same time, that's why Ed and Lorraine did this. And that's why it's real. Even Ghostbusters was to help people make a couple bucks, I guess. You want to make a book or whatever, that's cool. Sell some stickers or a shirt. But when it comes down to it, you guys get a gift. And we're working with that. Like me, I don't get paid much to go do my stuff. I acknowledge history. And what you're doing, JB, you're traveling around the world doing this stuff. Am I right, girl? I mean,
I'm not traveling around the world, you know, doing the healing stuff. I'm traveling around the world just because I just am a world traveler and want to experience that.
You bring a gift wherever you go, though, technically.
Yeah, I do, and have made so many connections with people all over the world. And sometimes my husband says, you need to shut it down, because people will come up to me from wherever we are and what country we're in, start talking to me about whatever's going on with them. And he's like, can you please? And I'm like, okay. But I think the thing with Thomas and I, we talk about really working on not having your ego get in the way, and be humble, and come from a place of no judgment, instead of going to a place and being like, oh, this person's or this spirit is being this way. It's like, well, why? It's like coming from a place of curiosity and of healing. And same with ourselves, no judgment, just like, okay, we are not perfect, but let's just like try to come from a place, but not come from a place, which I've seen, and I don't know a lot of people in the industry, but coming from the ego place, it's just going to separate you from spirit. But if you come really from the spiritual place with that humbleness, you're going to be more connected to spirit. You really are. And then if it gets to your head, then you see it just, that's with anything in life. Like everything just, you see someone all of a sudden become more egotistical, and then all of a sudden their talents go away. So Thomas and I really have talked about this extensively, about how important it is, how sacred and profound this work is, and how we don't want to just do this because of anything, but the intention is to help people that are alive, that are struggling, and people that have passed on that are still struggling and stuck here, or people that are not in a good, dark, and we need to move them on for the people that are here. All of that.
God, you got to be a speaker. You must be speaking, right? At the Salem thing, you should be a speaker. You're speaking, right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because that's, I mean, it's, have you, I got to ask you, are you an author? Have you written anything? I'm sorry, I should have done some homework. It was just kind of, have you written a book yet?
I've been published about, Gothic revival architecture, because I have a degree in art history with a specialization in medieval architecture. So I've been published with that, and I am writing right now about our experiences. We're putting, I'm putting something together to write. Yes. I come from a line of teachers and writers, but yeah.
She's a much better writer than I am. I'm a storyteller. I'm a singer-songwriter, storyteller. I can write a good song, but I don't know. The periods, the question marks, the commas, and putting it all together. I don't know. She's better at that. So, like I said, we have our good things we're good at, and some we complete each other, so we can get the ideas out.
That's a great attitude. There's no harm in admitting that you have faults, man. You're not an English teacher. You know what I mean? But I get it, man. You guys complete each other. Real quick, guys, if you guys follow Thomas on TikTok and all that good stuff, you always hear him, hello, my glorious widows. You get some crazy serial killer facts every Tuesday and all that good stuff. What do you always say at the end? You say, what is it? Down the rabbit hole again, right?
Down the rabbit hole again. So anybody that comes up to Salem and all that, down the rabbit hole, you think about it's going down the hole like your mouth. So I want to show you really close.
Yes.
Down the rabbit hole cup. That's the logo my daughter designed for us. So you'll be able to get those up in Salem. So I got some bourbon in it right now. But
I was gonna say you must be. He's got a cheese board out, and he's let me just do something real quick. I always mess up on this, but let me try to if I can. All right. Can you guys see the screen right now? Does it look like it's Salem Paracon right now?
I can't see it.
It's not, is it? I always mess up. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Now it will be.
There we go.
This is where we're going to be.
There it is.
almost 300 people. I don't know why the Wi-Fi is not connecting, but there we go.
There you go.
We're going to be there in about 8 days or so, I think. 9 days.
Yeah, next Friday, a week from today.
Yep. Hey, the screen changed.
Yeah,
Lauren Perez, what's up? Lauren's going to be there with Danny.
Yeah. So we're planning this all out. It's the Paracon, but we always want to embrace that area, Salem and all that, and Gloucester, and we're planning on going up early. And Jenna Beth and I think we're going to meet up with Danny and Lauren, and we're going to go to Hammond Castle in Gloucester first, and then kind of work our way up, maybe into Rockport, some other areas of. Jenna Beth's been up there quite a bit, so I think she's going to be our tour guide and show us all the cool places she's been, a few times before. So it's going to be an exciting weekend. Can't wait to be up there. We'll have our Airbnb. We'll get to meet all the fans and all that, and Jenna Beth and I are going to be
meeting up. Airbnb? Who's spending the night with you at the Airbnb that night?
Yeah.
Oh my boy, yeah. Yes, and that is at we're not going to tell you where the Airbnb is. We need you guys come and stalking us, you glorious weirdos. But the event's going to be at Salem State University College, the real deal, man. Salem State University, which is, if you look at the map, it's kind of out of the Salem downtown, but it's off to the side by the ocean. It's easy to find GPS. It's really easy to find.
It's free parking in the South Campus. Yeah.
Free parking, you say?
Yeah, it'll be in the South Campus. There'll be plenty of parking. So just kind of like almost about as much parking as we got at the WarrenCon we were all at.
Oh, my buddy George flew in for the WarrenCon from Florida, Tampa. He's flying in as a surprise to see me speak and see us. George DaCosta went to the WarrenCon. I'm flying in on Friday. Can't wait to see you again, George. I'm going to go get messed up and see him. Real quick, you guys, Heather and I went to the Hammond's Castle. He invented a remote control, and he holds the record for most patents in America, I believe. He's dead, and he's buried out back underneath barbed wire and poison ivy. There's a drawbridge there. Oh, I love my history. You know what's funny? Real quick, not to turn it on me, JB. You were saying earlier, near-death experiences open you up. I died for 38 seconds in a car accident about 2019, about 2020, a year after my mom died. I died in her car. Got the jaws of life out, the whole nine. I don't remember much of it. Ever since that day, I'm like Rain Man with history. I can remember years, dates, fucking oddball stuff, and it just sticks with me. It's not paranormal, but I feel like I'm donating something back. Where everybody's all about the Conjuring House or all about Lizzie Borden's, which is fine, and I've been to Lizzie's. I'm all about the Richard Jackson house, which is the oldest house in Portsmouth, 1632, and it's a log cabin. And I've been there, and like people have died there from syphilis and shit. Like I feel like that should be known, right, JB? I mean, it's not all about the Hollywood stuff. I mean, there are souls everywhere.
Everywhere, all the time, always watching over us. And I believe that because you've had that, I believe when you have that as a trauma therapist, even just talking on the science of it, it changes your brain. It just changes your brain and things are different. And so with the trauma of you almost dying and that near death experience, what do you think that does to our brain? We don't know half of what it does. But it opens us up to more abilities to have those extra spidey senses and when you're interested in something, who's to say that what you're interested in now is not something that you're supposed to pursue because it's a past life thing, or it could be, your relatives or spirits saying, hey, Adam, you need to pursue this. Look at this, because this story has not been told. Thomas always says, we need to tell the stories of people that have passed. So if you're really interested in a story, I believe the universe or spirit or both is catapulting us to say, hey, if you're looking at that story, somebody's pushing you to look at that story, and maybe that's something for you to pursue. Yeah.
Something. It's like, I can't just go, oh, that house was built. I'm like, who built it? Why'd they build it? Who died there? What's significant? Like, what did they invent? I go off like fucking a tick or something. And I had that before. I liked history, but now it's like obsessive compulsive in a way. Like, I don't rest until I figure shit out. I got so many open cases in my notebook about these places I've been. So you think that's related? Because when you said that and I thought about that, I'm like, it really kind of happened after the accident. Wow.
I really, not only scientifically and neuroscience do I believe it, but spiritually, you think about it, you almost died. You were not supposed to die at that time. So energy shifted and your path shifted. And so, staying open to things that you are open to, like even when I met Thomas, I knew my daughter introduced me, and then something said at one night was like, you need to contact him. Do it now. And I don't question it anymore. I just go, and I texted him. I said, hey, we need to meet, so go with it. That's the whole thing. Sometimes we still, even if we're psychic, we go, is that true? No, you just follow it. So if that's what you're into, I think you should follow that, because that's going to take you down a rabbit hole big time. Right, Thomas?
Oh, that means so much to me, dude. It really does, man, because you second guess shit,
Well, you should never
even if you don't, you shouldn't. But we still do, even after we have had so many experiences. We still do after millions of years. We're still like, well, is that right? But that's the adult brain. We need to stay in the brain of the child of, I'm not going to guess this. I got this intuition. I'm going to follow it.
Yeah, that's what we run into. That's what we run into is nowadays, and we've talked about this before. I'm a firm believer. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe when we run into something where we feel it's a coincidence, it's a message to us to put us on the right path, and we need to be open to hear it. A lot of times we don't hear it. We're just too inundated by looking at our phones and what's going on and all our worries and looking at our watch, that these are things that our spirit guides or our ancestors are trying to tell us. They're putting us on the right direction. They're putting people in our lives. And it's just accepting it and seeing where it goes. It's just going to be something that improves you.
You're not naive. You don't get your blinders on, which I think, honestly, a change for me, too. Once you get in a crazy accident or pretty much die or whatever, you look at life differently than your average person. You feel like everybody's in their little bubble. And I'm walking around going, what the fuck's going on? Like, I don't know. Maybe I can't explain that, but.
I can totally explain it for you, Adam. You know what it is? When you've had trauma, time stops for you and the world keeps revolving, and you're like in that bubble, like, oh, what is happening? And you're like in slow motion because your brain is just trying to make sense of it all. And that's what happened to you with your accident. And the world's still like going, like, it seems like the time is going so fast and everything's going fine. And you're like going, okay, this is slow motion. So I had that with my trauma. You've had it. And my patients, when they've had it, I say, yeah, that's normal, because everything just slows down, and it affects your brain. Yeah. Profound stuff.
I mean, a lapse of time, like even just now, I don't feel like I even dream anymore. And when I do, I get bits and pieces of me in the ambulance of them reviving me with my shirt and shit cut off because they did the fucking paddles on me. And I got hit head on, man. They never found the guy that did it. He took off somehow. I had seaweed in my trunk because I flipped over in the ocean there in a saltwater river in Maine. Fucking, I went back to get my car. There's a picture of it online. I went back. My marijuana bowl was still there. I had my wallet and everything's still there, man. And I thank my mom. I told my girlfriend Heather. I said my mom came to me. I love my mom very much, and she came to me and said, "Get out, my boy. Get out and crawl." And I said, my airbags are orange. And she goes, oh, no, airbags are white. You're just crazy. My fucking airbags in that Ford Fusion are orange. My mom came to me. I feel like she helped me. I didn't mention that earlier. I feel like she came to me in my time of need. That's the only thing I remember from the accident. Does that make sense? Or am I hallucinating? You
think? No, absolutely. You know the answer. You didn't hallucinate. She was right there. And she's right there with you right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna try not to cry. I'm sorry.
It's okay to cry. I mean, God, that you know what? Crying is us, our emotions sweating. So it's like we cry over those. Yeah, we and they're right here. Your mom's right there. My dad's right there. Your ancestors are there. But it's so hard sometimes. We still like miss their physicality. But she's there more for you now, in spirit. Because there's no more BS with her body and all this other stuff as being a human. She's stronger with you now. I believe that. Just like I believe my dad is with me more now and other ancestors than they were when they were alive.
You're saying her body. She had stuff wrong with her body. She had like cancer. She had to remove it, and then her womb got infected, and that's kind of what happened. You say her body because you know it. I mean, I didn't tell anybody that. I never said that. I never told anybody why she died. That's funny. I mean, not funny, but I can see why Thomas speaks so highly of you. I can see your ears must have been ringing all weekend long because he was just building you up like you were Lorraine Warren in The Second Coming. So I can see why, because you're amazing. Seriously, I mean, no shit.
Elaine Warren was extremely amazing to me. So, she was extremely psychic, absolutely beautiful. She was an older lady, but she held herself so with dignity. She reminded me of my grandmother in that way, but she also was a hot shit. Like she knew what was going on. And so I felt like she was such a mentor at 16 when I spent, till 18, 19 and just looked at her like, wow. Yeah, she was a really what a lady she was.
My next question was going to be who your mentors are, but now I know who that is. What say you, Thomas? What about you? You love Ed and Lorraine. Are they your mentors too, you think, or you just?
Yeah, I know Jennifer spent a lot more time with them than I did. My time was short. I met him when I was in high school, and then I was off to college, and that was pretty much it. But I spent a lot of time, on Halloween just passed. They would always have a get together at their house that you could go, and they would show you the cool stuff that they would capture with a lot of their investigations that they wouldn't show at the. So it's cool stuff. You get to go in the museum at the time, and I know it's like closed down to the public now, but we got to see most of that stuff at the Warren Con over the weekend. So it was pretty cool to see some of that stuff again.
I'll tell you, we're going to talk about that in a second. I just want to say real quick, Darren's checking in. He's a new guy. Stopping in to say hi. He says he hopes everyone's having a great day. Thank you, Darren. Hope you have a great weekend. Anthony wanted to comment on that. He said he drowned to death for a minute or two when he was about 4. He thinks it opened up his paranormal or the veil, as it were. He's seen stuff his whole life. That's like you said, JB. That's a near-death thing will kind of change your aspect on life, and I think open up doors that you didn't know. Astral project, I don't know about that. As far as me, Darren, I know I'm an empath. I can kind of sense bullshit a mile away. I mean, I had a dude that used to be my good friend at the Paracon come up to me and he goes, "Hey there, hater." And I said, "You're going to turn your back on me, dude. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not going to name names, but I don't let people. I think once you kind of die and go through that shit, you don't take stuff from people. I don't need people like that in my life. That's why I associate with Thomas. And if JB's good enough for him, she's good enough for me. And you've been nothing but a treat. We still got a half hour to go, so I want to get into some fun ones here. JB, what do you do to relax? What do you watch for like a movie or a show? What are you really into right now? Do you watch television or movies?
Oh my goodness. I absolutely am a bookaholic. I go through 2 books a week.
Awesome.
some historical fiction, some non. I'm just totally a nerd in that way. And then I love um, sci-fi, science fiction, fantasy has always been. I'm a huge my house was Hogwarts until like after Halloween. So like I love I love Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and all that fantasy. Again, going back to my childhood and realizing that was a big way for me to escape, and for me as a psychotherapist, as a trauma therapist, as a parent, like just to escape into a world and all that fantasy. I just absolutely love all that. The medieval fairs and this,
your
all
cat's
that
named
stuff.
after one of the professors. Yeah, Professor Snape or whatever. If I kid, as soon as I knew right away, I'm like, oh my god. So I got to ask you, where do you compare? You must have read the books. Where do you compare the books to the movies? Equal? I mean, your
Well,
opinion.
I think the movies did a really good job with the books, but there's no comparison to actually reading all the details of the books. And I listened to the books twice when I had a really bad accident a couple years ago. And Jim Dale, who's an actor, he did the audio books, and he was just amazing. And there's just so much more background in the books, but the movies were fantastic as well. I mean, all of it is so fantastic, absolutely beautiful and magical stuff.
That's cool. So it fit your fantasy, so to speak, or fit your like picture. Like my girl reads Stephen King, and she thinks some of the books are better than some of the movies, and some she thinks are kind of spot on. So I mean, it's all in the beholder, I guess. So that's cool. And I love Lord of the Rings, man. I tell you, when that first came out, I went to the theaters to see all three. Oh my god, that's a great, that's cool. What about
love
you, Tom?
Stephen
You're in the
King
whole movie.
too.
Oh,
love
you
Stephen
do?
King
You do like
too.
things?
Oh,
I was going to ask you
totally.
like.
I saw you and your girlfriend in the gates at his house. I did that back in I'm 54 right now, so I did that back in when I was in 20 something, 24 years ago.
You've
Yes,
been to Maine, then.
yes. I've not met him, but I went around his house and saw it. So yeah, it's all awesome. Yeah, so cool.
I mean, there's not many people out there that you can distinguish their house. Like I don't know what Reba McEntire's house looks like, or what, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what fucking Will Smith's house, but you know what Stephen King's house looks like. You know what I mean? Like it almost precedes him.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Are you into his wife's work, Tabitha?
Not as
she
much
writes
as him.
A little bit.
I need to.
Yeah.
There's so many books in so little time. It's crazy pants. But
she's
who was the one that did the oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. Maybe you remember. She was the author for New Orleans, about the witches. Oh my gosh, I'll remember it. Yes.
Anne Rice. The vampires and shit. Yes.
She
passed away last year, I believe. Yeah,
she did.
Passed away.
I went to New Orleans just because of her books, because I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds like this is not even real. But she described New Orleans, and New Orleans is like so culturally crazy. But she described it beautifully, and I ended up going to her condo that she sold to a friend, and it was her actual condo in Florida. But yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. So
I mean, honestly, that's one of my biggest bucket lists, between the voodoo, the vampires, the ghosts, the old graveyard, is New Orleans. I mean, it is everything like the book.
We should all go. We should all make a trip.
Yeah.
That'd be, if I could die tomorrow and be like, yeah, I went to New Orleans, because I've been to Salem enough. We used to go to Salem every 3 months or so, but New Orleans. Well, actually, let's talk about Salem. What's up? Nathaniel Elwell's going to be there as well. He's saying, what's up, everybody? He's actually going to be speaking with me, so I appreciate that. And Stu checking in. Hey, guys, watching from Telford Paranormal and Urbex Investigators. What's up, Stu? Out of the 22 years I lived in the South, I never get to New Orleans. You got to go, Nate. Which reminds me, Tom, if there's room for one more guest at the B&B, Nate wants in. He's got cash. We can talk about that later, but he needs a couch to crash on. I think that's extra bucks to put towards it. So he's coming down with me anyway. So,
or it is a capacity of 7. I know you're only going to be there with that one night as of now or whatever, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure Saturday, Friday night or Saturday night, one of the other. I got to talk with Heather still about it, but we'll talk about that later. What about you, Thomas, man? What are you into for stuff? I mean, if you're not digesting or researching something, you must have downtime. You watch like silly movies. What do you watch? Documentaries?
Oh my God. I don't know if you know, Monday I was on a podcast and I got to talk about one of my big things I've done in my college thesis on and all that, psychology with, law enforcement. I got to talk about profiling historic serial killers. And I love doing that type of stuff, just getting into the mind, what makes them do what they do. And just like Jenabeth talks about, their traumas, what makes somebody, you all have traumas, we all do. What makes their trauma create them to do what they do? And that's kind of what was discussed. I love watching true crime, but I'm also with Jenabeth. I mean, I love Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, those types of fantasy things. It's true. If there's a good show that could take you away from reality for a little while, then that's what you want. So, and I do a lot of reading myself, because you can't do history and help people without reading and making sure that you're well versed.
Absolutely. Perfectly worded. We're talking with Thomas Patrick Gormley, the Glorious Weirdo. We're talking with Jenabeth JB Loud Rush, both of the Archangels of the Paranormal, based out of Connecticut, willing to travel. You have to, if people do have a problem with a case, obviously you guys are open. Do they just message a certain page, message you individually? How does that work?
I think, whatever ways we've been contacted so many different ways. I think a lot of our early cases were, Jenabeth, her husband's friends was part of our first case. She had another friend that reached out to her that knew somebody else, and that was one of the cases. And, with me just, doing sales and picking up on people's energies, I've had people reach out to me at work to help out with one of the cases in a restaurant. But yeah, you can instant message us. We have our pamphlets now. So when we do these conventions and all that, it's more geared off of, the conventions are more geared off of for us to meet as many people as we can. And if they have a paranormal issue, then they know who to contact and help them, because there are other investigators. Jenabeth and I have done some places that the people there said that they've had other investigators come in and they couldn't figure out the problem. So we're the ones to call, because we're confident with our energy together to be able to help. There we go. That's the old logo right there. Yeah.
Hail on both sides of the veil. I had the postcard from the Paracon thing, and I don't know where I put it. I smoked a joint before, and that's what I get for doing that.
But again, if you really look at our logo and the symbol and all that, Jenabeth will tell you there's a symbol on the owl's head that means a lot to, Celtic way of what we actually do. So I'll let her tell you what that symbol means.
So I don't know if you saw the symbol on the owl. You can zoom in. It's not so strong. But on that owl, you can see the swirly stuff. That's called a triskelion.
Yeah.
That is a Celtic symbol. So when I'm doing therapy with people and I tell people I'm trying to help them stay open to contact their loved ones, the people that have passed, the energy that gets in the way for all of us is frustration and anger and the depths of our despair and our grief. So I try to teach people, try not to get angry or frustrated that your loved ones don't come through to you in your dreams or your meditations or all that. So long story short, here I am. I lost my most beautiful boy, Nakai, who was this giant Alaskan Malamute wolf. My boy, he was just like my heart. So I lost this absolutely gorgeous boy. I was the only one that could bring him in to put him down because of COVID. But he was a wolf. He was this big, huge, gorgeous, and I'll send you a picture because you'll be like, oh my goodness. And so for 6 months, I'm meditating. I'm asking him to show himself to me, all this stuff. And I'm starting to get upset I'm like upset and frustrated. And then I'm like, oh, I'm doing exactly what I'm not supposed to do, because that stops the energy from letting spirit come in and give you messages. So
Yeah.
I finally, every morning I meditate and every night I meditate. And if I can, I'll try to do it in the afternoon. But it puts you into that state of theta, which is your psychic ability. So after 6 months, and I'm like, okay, I got to get away from being frustrated. I just want to know that he's okay. I was doing a drumming meditation and he came to me, but he was like 120 pounds. And in my meditation, he was about, I don't know, 7 feet high. And he had this glowing Triskelion, that symbol on his forehead. And I'm like, so you're here? And he just nodded like, yeah, I've always been here. I'm never leaving you. Like, that was his attitude. And I'm like, but what's the symbol? And it was like glowing. So I wake up from this meditation and I'm bawling, and my husband's in the kitchen. And I'm like, he finally came, and there's this symbol. So I'm looking on Google, and I'm Googling and Googling. I'm like, there's this symbol. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it means. And I look it up, and it's that symbol, and it means life, death, and rebirth. And I was like, this is the symbol. So it was so profound. And I have a necklace. I wear that. And so that really is what it is. It's like life, death, and rebirth. He came back in that part of my brain to say, yeah, dummy, I'm here all the time. Just like our relatives, our people have passed, your mom, you know, Thomas's mom, my father, they're all here. But it's like, yeah, sometimes we just get so caught up in being human, we don't realize they're right there. And yeah, okay, I'm going to give you a symbol. Just stay open to it. Just stay open.
Sign. Yeah, the signs all the time, people say. People are amazed. Nikhil's is an amazing story. Larry says, so cool. He says earlier they get that sticker on his car. He must have got it at the WarrenCon, maybe? I know Thomas was handing them out.
Larry actually works with me. So he's very open to the paranormal in his family. And he's such a good dude. He's a hard worker. And he's like one of the people at work I could go talk to. And he enjoys the conversation.
Oh, well, thank you for chiming in. Follow the page. We're going to have a lot more. We're going to have Glorious Weirdo probably back on Monday, and I'm thinking next Friday from the hotel. But, my buddy George has got one of those dogs you're talking about, a Malamute. It's named Nanook. It's like an old Eskimo name or something.
That's awesome.
He told me about the dogs. It's the size of a wolf. It looks like one of the wolf from Twilight when the guy turns into a wolf there and bites a vampire.
Yeah.
Giant beyond belief. Megan checking in. What's up, Megan? Good evening, everyone. She says, hello. Thanks for joining us. We got about 14 people watching. Still going. I'm surprised. All show long, we've had double digits watching, so I appreciate you guys checking in, and I appreciate you guys coming on the show. We still got about 50 minutes left to go. Let me cover some fun stuff here. JB, you've been all over the world, but give me a bucket list place for America and one bucket list place for overseas, Europe, or whatever that you just would like to go. You haven't been yet.
Oh my goodness. Where I would like to go, or where?
Yeah, bucket list.
She's already
where
been there.
I think everybody should go.
Have you been to Egypt yet?
That's definitely on my bucket list. It's coming up probably in a year. My art history teacher was, I don't even know where she is right now, but she was friends with Zai Hawass, who is the Egyptologist, archaeologist, the main one for all the pyramids. So they only figured out 20% of what's going on in the pyramids. We don't know even not even a quarter, like not 20%. But my teacher, she was on a camel and she fell into a tomb and discovered a tomb when she was over there. That's my art history teacher. And so yeah, that's definitely on my bucket list to go. It's gonna happen. Yeah, for sure.
She fell into a tomb in an Egyptian pyramid. Down the fucking rabbit hole we go. That's a good one.
With a camel.
With the camel too.
Yeah, the camel and her went down and discovered. But when they say a tomb, it's like there's so many tombs there that we don't even know. So it's like it's a tomb. It's like It's a bathroom. It's not. It's like it's nothing. There's so many there that we have not even seen. It's crazy pants. Yeah.
And they're buried with jewels and gem and gold. It's just like, what's up, Ari? Checking in a little bit late. Thanks for coming. You guys can check this out on the replay, and of course, it'll be on the YouTube channel here. I got to upload the Halloween one, but this will be on in a couple of days. So, what about America? There must have been a place you haven't been in America that you'd like to go. No, Hawaii or Alaska, something.
I was just in Hawaii and Tahiti, and I want to go to Sedona and out to like the Grand Canyon and all that whole area. You know, there's so much out there that
the Wild West
we all
type
need to
stuff.
discover. Yeah.
Yeah, ghost. I could see you walking around a ghost town picking up vibes from like a Wyatt Earp type town or something.
I did. I was in where Doc Holliday was. I went to where he died in the hotel in Colorado Springs, I think it was called. And oh my gosh, the energy there was crazy pants. Like, yeah, I love Doc Holliday. I don't know why, but yeah, cool. He was just a cool individual, you know. But there's just so much. There's so many places.
Thomas was cool.
That's why we get along. She's a Doc Holliday. I'm a Wyatt Earp guy. So that's partnership right there.
Spartan, I would say, you guys are a killer team. What a great team, full of knowledge and experience. Thomas, what say you? Where do you need to go, bud?
I've talked about it before, but hey, I got to come up and see you, my friend. So, I know I've been up to Maine before, but not touring all the Stephen King areas. That would be cool. And with my background, JP, the true crime stuff, I want to, be a former corrections officer, Alcatraz. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that.
Alcatraz,
real quick,
all that good stuff.
Al Brady, after Bonnie and Clyde died, and then Dillinger, Al Brady and the Al Brady gang was America's Most Wanted. And at 26, he gets shot by J. Edgar Hoover and them in Bangor. There's a brick in the street that says America's Most Wanted got killed here in 1937. Fun fact, he's buried in the Jewish section of Mount Hope Cemetery where Stephen King filled Pet Cemetery, the priest. You may go now. I know where his grave is. Other than I've been there, it's a couple quarters. It is family didn't claim him, but Al Brady gang, man. I'll bring you to his gravesite.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool places. I've been to a lot of places, but yeah, Jenabeth's right. That energy out in Sedona and all that, and just the openness and just being able to see all the stars and tuning into the universe. And that's like one of those areas to tune in, and exactly right. That'd be a great place to go to.
But even though I've traveled so many places, I'm sorry. Even though I've been to so many places, even today, just driving, I'm just so happy to be a New Englander, because I just think that where we live it's magical here. I couldn't just live in Hawaii or Florida or so. I love that we have the seasons. I love the energies and how they change here. Today I was feeling so grateful of like, I was born here and I do love it here. It's just so magical here.
So, JB, they're all going to move here. Quiet. It really sucks in New England. It's cold. New England sucks. Stay out of Maine, motherfuckers. I love it. I tell you, I love the season, because to me, it's like California, every day 75. Woo, is it April or is it June? Who gives a shit? No one knows. They're all in smog. So they can have it, man. I love my New England. We got cemeteries with crossbones on the things still from 1620. I love our history here, guys.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, we are paranormal people, so we got to be in the most haunted area of the world, Or I know there's other places outside here, but here in the U.S., that's where our country started. Jenabeth and I did an investigation at a place where the mill was from 1680. This place had so much energy. The energy witnessed the birth of our country, and every year through, it's still available to see. You have to go eat there, but of course, her and I were the first to investigate, and as far as we know, we'll be the last to investigate there also.
Oh, and you guys doing a road trip. You're going to Hammond's Castle. You're going to go to Gloucester, where they also have Dogtown, not to mention Mermaid Scene out back of Hammond's Castle. But then you got the dudes that were lost in the perfect storm. Their fucking burial sites are there. Me and Heather have been there. The guys were in the movie, the real people that Mark Wahlberg played or whatever. Then you're going up, and next thing you know, you're hitting up where the Boston Strangler's grave in Peabody, Massachusetts. I've been there, Puritan Lawn Cemetery. Albert DeSalvo, I've been to his grave twice at Boston Strangler. Then you're up in Salem. And you're up in Danvers, where Salem started, Rebecca Nurse homestead, and the fucking part. Oh my God. Oh, Salem. Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be a blast, guys. We're going to have to rule the town, I think. Let's talk about the event, because I want to push it real big. Like, this is going to be a big event. I know there's a lot of Paracons this time of year, but I feel like this is one of the last ones, Tom, huh? November. I mean, I think it's rather big. We got the girl from Silent Night, Deadly Night, a couple people from Friday the 13th.
Yeah. This is probably the last one for the season. I know this weekend they're doing the one in New Jersey. But this Salem's going to be the last one of the season, because it's almost like us paranormal people are like squirrels and bears. We got to hibernate for the season, so get ready for the following year. When winter comes, we're just kind of back to meditation and taking it all in. I tell you, I'm pretty tired after this month. There's been a lot going on, but this one is going to be huge, because you're going to have paranormal people, you're going to have horror people, and you're in the witch city capital of the world, and the energy there, the history, it's just everything all into one, and everybody meeting up there is just, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to be great, and Jenabeth and I are the leadoff hitters for the weekend, and you'll be hearing us talk. I know we didn't talk about it tonight because we're kind of save it, because if we talk about all of our case files right now, we want everybody to show up to Salem Paracon, because we got some stuff in store for you that will blow your brains out and take you down the rabbit hole with us and what we do and how it's different, and how we heal people, and how we've proven that we've healed people with our clients and ones that have passed that we've helped to make that decision to move on. So,
what time are you guys speaking? So everybody knows, I'm going to be front and center, but tell everybody the time schedule for Saturday, right?
Yeah, I think after it opens to when it I know there's VIP getting an hour early, and then the other people are able to come in. Once they come in, I think it's going to be an hour after that. I think we're at noon on the first day, as long as the schedule stays the way it is. But I think we're at noon, and we're going to get it out of the way. And then that time we have the rest of the weekend to spend with everybody that comes to the Paracon, to sit with them, talk, let them know, what we do, how to help them if they want to purchase some shirts. Jenabeth's going to have a lot of cool stuff that she made, some jewelry she made and stuff. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff, but just time you could come and talk to us, and learn more about what we do and how we could help you if you need something. Yeah. There it is.
I'm trying to blow this thing up. Trying to blow it up, stupid thing.
I tell you, you're getting better at this.
There's Thomas. There's me. I shouldn't drink a whole beer, though. There's Nate. There's Jennifer. Is that you right there?
Yeah.
Who's there? It's you, right? Yeah, okay. I got to start trying this stuff when I haven't been buzzed. But there we go. Good evening, Rachel King, Candle Witch. Thanks for stopping in. Saw her at the Warren Con this past weekend. Over there. What's going on? Well, I tell you, Thomas is quite the salesman, dude. He's plugging everybody. He's throwing flyers out, and he's a promoter. And I tell you what, yeah. We'll go a little bit over. We got about 5-10 more minutes left to go. Where can people find you guys? Your personal pages, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that good shit. Go ahead.
Ladies first.
Oh, well, Thomas does all the Archangels of the Paranormal, all the TikTok and all the information. And I'm just Jenabeth Loud Rush for my psychotherapy page. That's what I have for psychotherapy. And I'm kind of on backstage for him because I'm busy doing my psychotherapy stuff. So, but I'm getting clients, more and more clients, like I said, that are really just interested in how to deal with grief and how to deal with their trauma and how to understand their brain and how to contact their loved ones themselves instead of thinking they have no ability to do that. And I firmly believe that we all do. So that's
That's got to be
one of my
draining
main
on you,
goals.
though. That's got to be draining on you physically. You must have times you get to go, okay, I need time for myself. Would take it so
Well,
much
that's why I'm a world
energy,
traveler.
right?
Yes, that's
You
why
deserve it, girl.
I work really hard and then I play really hard. Now I got to find a balance of doing both because I work really hard and then I get so drained and then I go and I play really hard and there's got to be a balance for us healers. And sometimes and many times for us healers, there's not a balance. And that's always a battle. And that's something I need to find. But I wouldn't want to do anything else because this is my passion and this is what I'm supposed to do. So a lot of us that are on this path to help people and in all these capacities, we do have to find a balance and take care of ourselves, work on our own traumas and our own stuff. It's not always easy, but it's worth it to take care of ourselves, right?
Wow.
Exactly.
You got to do more of these podcasts, Jenna Beth. You're an amazing speaker, amazing talker. I mean, I thought you were shy. No way in hell. You know what's going on. It's been an honor to talk to you guys. Everybody's tuning in late, but what's going on? It's all right. You guys can watch the episode. And you know what the best part is? To be continued. Saturday around 11 a.m. Get there at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Fuck around with us and hang out at Salem State University because these guys are going to be talking live. Me and Nate will be up at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Saturday is the All-Star Crew. We're going to be at the Salem Paracon, Salem Paranormal and Horror Paracon at Salem State University. It's really not hard to find, old school college. So before we go, I want to ask you, what are you guys looking forward to doing in Salem? Just going out to eat, going to a spot besides the convention, of course. Like, is there a hot spot you like to go to, Jenna Beth? Is there like a certain, like Hocus Pocus house or Witch house?
I have a very good, one of my very good friends. She has an Airbnb right downtown Salem. It used to be a Harry Potter Airbnb, and now I think it's just a wizard with the Salem Witchcraft and Wizardry Airbnb.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to seeing her. I'm looking forward to spending some time up in that energy, meeting you, and just hang out and playing and being with Thomas and just not just going to investigate anything, just like soaking up friendship and camaraderie with other people that are like-minded, we're all passionate about this, because obviously if we weren't, we wouldn't be doing this right now at all. So I'm very excited and I'm very happy.
Where did you find her, Thomas? You found a diamond, bro. Holy cow, what an amazing person. My girlfriend Heather, I know she's gonna love to meet you because she's just like that too. She just wants to help people, help herself, and just stay positive and not be in it to just badmouth people. And it's refreshing, Jenna Beth. I know you're not out and about, and the Warren Con was great. Don't get me wrong, but there's some people out there that are kind of like, meh. You see true colors a lot, and it's like, eh. And to each their own. But I'd rather incorporate my energy with like-minded individuals like you and Thomas. Thomas, you'll be back on Monday with Charles. I can't get rid of you at this point. But anything you want to anything you want to close out, my friend, with anything you want to add or ask me or ask her? Or
yeah, hey, very excited about Salem coming up. It's a big one. I mean, you're seeing all you guys, but really when it comes down to it, Jenna Beth and I are really passionate about what we do. And we just want people to, get to know us a little bit more. Has our dynamic duo that we like to be, knowing that we can help people in how we do things differently. I can't wait for us to be able to get up there and, tell our story. What we've been through and how we've been able to help, and hopefully that will help others change their frame of mind and how they think. Just what you're talking about, it isn't about ego. You need to learn from each other, just because somebody's been in this for 30 plus years or just a few months, you could learn something from everybody. You got to keep that mind open. as long as we stay open and enjoy what everybody does, and everybody's trying to make the paranormal go forward, I think we're in a good boat.
I tell you, I see people walking around on there. They got shows and shit. They look at me like I'm just a piece of shit. And then I go into Josh the Explorer or Gonzalez. Remember we talking Gonzalez from Ghost Hunters areas, Steve Gonzalez, and they're pretty cool. And then of course Jody Spare is cool, and then Kristen Lee, who just signed on the Ola the Bel Air house. I'm her. She's my client now. So I think it goes both ways. Like, I refuse to buy it out to anybody because, like you say, there's no experts. I don't care how many years you put in, man. If you're not in this to help people, if you're in this to just, I write books or whatever, dude. Do your thing, but we're on a different path. Is that accessible, fair? You know what I mean? I think so. So check it out. We're gonna have Danny and Lauren Perez, the Radicals, will be there on Saturday. Nathaniel Elwell will be there. Geez, I'm crow. It's like an all-star lineup, dude, huh? I mean, Charles put together a big thing here. Jenna Beth's gonna be there. Thomas is gonna be there. I'm gonna be a Witch and Life Guide. Heather Kemeni's gonna be there. And I think all of you watching should be there, right? I think there's something for everybody. Like you say, horror, paranormal, witches, ghosts. It's all there.
Yeah. Salem in general, just anything, you know.
Salem,
if you go up and hang out with us, and then you can. The great thing about how Charles runs this is, even at the time, it gets out early enough. So if you're there for the whole weekend, it gets out early enough where you could go hang out around town and really, you know, hobnob with everybody and just get to know, you know, what the paranormal really is all about. You know, not what you see on TV, just how we are and what we care about, and how we care about you to be able to help you and answer those questions that you might have.
And the Halloween rush is gone. There's not going to be 60,000 people there. They all leave at Halloween. It's going to be a little more mellow. You won't have to wait in line to go in the witch house. Maybe a tiny bit, but not. You got to agree. Salem in October is hell. So I think November is not too bad. House of Seven Gables will be there. Christ, I'll bring you on a tour. I know where Rob Zombie shot Lords of Salem. There's a cemetery in where is it? Right next door there. That's Hocus Pocus was filmed in. So we're gonna have fun. So come down and join us. Come say hi to Jenna Beth. Take a picture with Thomas and I. You know what I mean? What's up, Brooke? From the Wildwood Sanatorium in upstate New York. Hello. Brooke was awesome. She's awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's getting late. We'll see you Monday at 8. So from JB, Loud Rush, Thomas Patrick Gormley, the Glorious Weirdo, Adam, Historian Ghost Hunter. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Kudos to you.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to meet you in person. Give you a big hug. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jenna Beth, I'd like to have you on sometime, maybe just you and me or us three again, because I got a million more questions for you. This hour flew by.
I would love that.
But I'd be honored.
Appreciate that. Can't wait to meet you.
Be well.
Bye-bye.
Thomas, you're my boy. I'll talk to you in an hour probably. We'll see you guys Monday, 8 p.m. with Charles and Patrick. And